Hello, ladies and gentlemen, all around the world. Welcome to another episode of the Global Talkative Series, a global platform where we gather, we come to learn, to inspire, to encourage one another, to go through the situation and then have a word of advice, and then where we share ideas and common knowledge, in these uncommon times. And I'm your host, Lanre Ajayi. And like we do on this show, we are blessed with individuals from around the world, coming to share their minds, their thoughts, their experiences with our global audience. And today, it's a beautiful day, and we are reaching you now from our Global Talkative Series studio, and it's going to be an awesome time. So we're reaching you now on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube, real time. And our guest today is a special person to me, a brother, a friend, a community builder, an influencer, and it's no other person than his name is an household name in Calgary, and I must have seen him. He's going to be coming right about now on Instagram. He's by the name of Akim Lawal, founder and co-owner of Fariara Menswear. How are you, Akim? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm happy to be on the program today, and I've been looking forward to this. Everyone, good afternoon or good evening from Calgary. I'm looking forward to seeing your questions.
All right. So, like we did on this show, I would like to give you a background information about our guest today so that we can all be on the same page and know who we are talking to. And I want to thank everybody that is joining us right now. Rolly Shegun Ajala from Toronto, thank you. Zil Culture, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you for those who are joining and those who are watching on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So I'll go right into the profile of our guest. Akim Lawa is the founder and co-owner of Canada's leading menswear company, Fari Ara by name. He has over 15 years experience in community leadership and entrepreneurship. Akim's experience in working with community leaders, advocates, and business owners from various parts of the world led him to conclude that success is an extension of your attitude and yourself with others. Akim has also worked for Fortune 500 companies in many roles, including but not limited to leadership roles. As an abandonment and reclamation specialist for Senverse Energy, Akim, like many during the 2015-2016 economic downturn in Calgary, experienced the pain of job loss. But not one to be discouraged, he ventured out on his own, making the intentional decision to start his own company, Fariara. The result of Fariara, one of the fastest growing custom menswear companies that focuses on inspiring confidence in men with emphasis on convenience. Akim's story is one that shows the success of any career path, so long as you have hard work, discipline, and courage as your guide. Now, the journey started some years back, my brother, and today we can see the results. The question I want to start off with is that how was the beginning of this business for you? Transitioning from oil and gas to making nuclear. How is the journey?
Thank you. Honestly, the journey started before I actually left my 9 to 5 oil and gas job. It was a good paying job, I must be honest. But I knew I wasn't satisfied. I grew up from an entrepreneur home. My mom was a single mother, breadwinner. From being an entrepreneur, she had to provide for 3 generations: the generations before her, our generation, and she had to provide for my generation. So, drawing the inspiration from my mother, I knew that 9 to 5, as it was paying good, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So 2 to 3 years prior to leaving oil and gas, I had been traveling around the world. So every year I'll take my vacation, 2 weeks vacation, I'll plan my vacation, travel. I remember the first time I went to China, I made a conscious decision that I wasn't going to look for any product. I didn't have anything in mind that I wanted to go into. I just wanted to, see what was out there in the world. And I went to the biggest trade fair in the world, which is in Canton, Guangzhou in China. Yeah. So I did that first year, did another one, second year. And by, when I returned back home, when I returned back to Calgary, I knew what I wanted to go into, which, then, it was an extension of what I've always done coming to Canada as an international student, which is what I'm doing right now, fashion.
Oh, that's amazing, from oil and gas, and an experience with a fair, led into what you were doing. Now, one story that you told me that resonated with me was how you formed the name Fariara. Now, it sounds foreign, but tell us the story of how you come about Fariara, the name.
That's a good question. I get that question all the time by, many of our clients. So the name of the company, actually, when we started the company, it was not actually Fariara. I was on the verge of going to the registry to register the name, which was, my middle name. We share the same middle name, by the way. My middle name is Larry. Yeah. So that was supposed to be the name of the company with an hyphen on the E, but it was a big cliche. It was a big cliche. So then I used to run, when I was starting the company. So one of those days I was running, I just knew that, that name wasn't the right name for the company. I started, telling God, please give me a name. So anyways, well, I wanted a name that pretty much speaks to our heritage, which is being an African. Then, the name Safari Sahara kept popping up in my head. Then I was like, who names their company Safari Sahara? And right there, I had, the moment where it just came to me, just remove the first two letters, SA from Safari, you get Fari, and SA from Sahara, you get Hara. Now, here is the thing about the name Fariara. It tells a story of the 4 quadrants of Africa. When you think about Safari, you think about South Africa and East Africa. And Sahara, it's North Africa and West Africa. So it was just a perfect name. Now, so that's how the name came about. Now, my mother came to Canada, I think 2 years after me. I saw rest in peace. Then she looked at me and said, Akeem, that your company's name, she didn't really go to school, but she could speak English. So she said, your company's name is actually sounds Yoruba, which is our local language, Fariara, which is, someone who is fashionable, to be fashionable. Fariara, I was like, wow, just coincidentally. So yeah, so that's the story of Farihara. Rolly's Gonjala from the comment. Thank you so much. It's Farihara with an H in the Hara. Yes, so that's the story.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That story makes it real authentic. Like an African man would call, when you are doing yourself, Fari, you are Oshifari, as in you're doing something, you are adorning your body. And then Ara means body. And that's the essence of wearing clothes. Wear clothes to, embellish and showcase our style. And that story is amazing. Thank you, ATL Care, for joining. Thank you, Irene Joe, for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Jilaya from Birmingham for joining. EAB created from Nigeria, Jim Maria, thank you for joining. Men are joining all around the world. So we appreciate you. Thank you for taking time to join us. And today's topic is I came, I saw, and conquered an entrepreneurship journey into the unknown. Now, the first question I have for you is this. What is your inspiration towards creating men's wear? What led you to decide to create men's wear?
So that's a very good question. For me, being a 6'2" guy, going into store, and I have a disproportionate body. My arms are longer than my height. So going into stores, I always found it, especially formal wear, I always found it very, very difficult to finding an outfit that actually fits me, like a shirt that actually fits me. And I'll always find some of them in Hugo Boss. So then I was a student or just young graduate, and buying a shirt, from Hugo Boss, it's a bit more expensive. So I knew that, yes, there was a gap in then custom garments wasn't as popular then. So I knew that there was a gap in that industry that, I wanted to pretty much close. And so that's how we got into menswear, and linking up with my business partner, Richard Adejumo, having the same passion in menswear, it just made it very, very easy for us to focus on menswear. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, fashion
Sorry.
business. Yeah.
Sorry, I think someone is saying the program is not live on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, we're reaching you on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I can see it here. We're on YouTube. Just search for Lanre Ajayi on YouTube. These are the links to join. It's here on the screen. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, these are the links to join us live. So we're here. Thank you, Pastor Emmanuel from Benin City, Nigeria. Dear Education, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you so much. Now, talking in terms of creating, the inspiration behind making men's clothing. In a fashion world, we have unisex, male, female. Now, do you have in mind, maybe in the future, plans to go to diversify into making, unisex clothing or female clothing? Do you have a plan in the future, or is anything happening? Because I guess not only men wear suits, some women love to wear suits as well.
Yeah. And honestly, you'll be surprised how many times you get this question every single week. We get, as a matter of fact, I was asked this question yesterday, and so I'm going to use this opportunity and this platform to announce and say it is, an area we are looking into. As a matter of fact, we've gotten our first sketches. So with Faria Larry, one of the things that we value, with our company is knowing exactly, not just dabbling into, an area in fashion just because there are demands for it. We take our time to do our research and just finding gaps in that women industry in terms of custom suits. We have been doing that now for the past 1 year, and knowing that the fashion industry is shaped by women's fashion. So it's important for us that if we must dabble into it, we must know exactly what we are doing. And that's the reason why we are being in conversation. We have a partnership with Ryerson Fashion School in Toronto. Every year, they send us interns that are in fashion school. So we've actually had one of our interns who has graduated now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to bring her on board. We have been playing around with sketches. So As a matter of fact, we received one of the sketches, I think it was 2 days ago. So for some of our supporters out there, Irene Jobs, I see you. I know you're listening and taking notes because she's gonna hold me to whatever I say about women's line today. So yes, we are looking into it and we're working very hard to making that possible as soon as we can.
That's amazing. So, female fans of Fariara out there, just keep your fingers crossed. Akim has said it on this show, and like I said, Irene, you can always to his word. Thank you, Dr. Sam, the Waking Man, for joining us on this live chat. Lola Balogun from Edmonton, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And all those who are joining us around the world, we appreciate you. Now, it's no longer a need that COVID-19 is a pandemic that has ravaged our world and has affected a lot of businesses. So, in what way has this pandemic affected business, and how have you been able to sustain yourself?
Thank you so much. Before I answer that question, the better half of Faria has just joined us in the comments. Richard, I see you. If I miss any question, please, send me a quick message to answer those questions. So Richard Adejimo is the better half of Faria that takes care of the eastern side of the business. So I manage the west, and so yeah, that's my business partner. Welcome, Rich. So to answer your question, just like any other business, we have been gravely affected by the COVID-19 in terms of revenue. However, it's actually been a blessing in disguise, to a greater extent for us as a company. Around this time is usually our busiest period. So that, because we were looking to getting busy, spend lots of money on marketing towards the end of last year. So we were hoping to actually be busy. Now, with the COVID-19, affecting revenue, we were able to use that downtime to actually work on other areas to help scale the business. And it's been a journey for Richard and myself. And if we were to look back, we will still feel like we have achieved something during the COVID-19.
Yeah, thank you very much. Richard, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, and well done for the good work you are doing with Akim. We appreciate that. Now, during this pandemic, some organizations are, stepping up their game in being corporately and socially responsible in the society. Now, what was Fariara doing? Were you doing anything to support the community during this pandemic? Tell our audience.
Thank you so much. One of the founding principles for our company lies within social and corporate responsibility. We didn't need to experience the pandemic for us to step up as a company, and that's what we've always done. Last year, there wasn't any pandemic, but we were part of. We helped raise money for Breast Cancer Relief Foundation. This year we've done a couple of other stuff, towards the community. So with the pandemic, it helped us handle that social and corporate responsibility side of our business again. We decided to raise money because just like every person got affected with the pandemic, especially the vulnerable members of our community, the homeless. So we decided to open a GoFundMe and raise money. We actually just ended that campaign and we're able to raise over $5,000, which should provide close to 4,000 meals to the vulnerable members of our community. So that's what we have done on the COVID-19 pandemic. The other pandemic, which is the Black Lives Matter that we are currently going through right now, One of the things that Variara is doing is, just as we've always done as a company, we we tapping into the Black community. Right now, we have one of our, we just brought somebody on board a couple of days ago. She's looking to, learn more about fashion, get, pretty much mentorship. So we just brought her in, and we have some other things planned, because it's really important. As I mentioned earlier, as a brand, we don't just jump into things. We take our time to think through and see the best way to maximize our contribution. So we have some announcements to make very soon. So please pay attention.
Yeah, good. We have some folks. Pastor Emmanuel from Benin said, "God bless you for that, Akeem, for showing love to our community. We appreciate that." RB Junior said, "We thank all our contributors for that and help and support." I just awesome. We appreciate all the comments, that are sent in. Dr. Olaiwala Jile from Birmingham said, "Do you operate online business?" It's foremost forensic physician in Birmingham, UK. So I'll be a potential customer for you.
Okay, that's a wonderful question. By the way, RBA Junior, that's my business partner. That's Richard. Richard wants me to thank every single one of you that contributed to the GoFundMe, and everyone that have supported us so far. Irene, Job, I see you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So to answer your question, do we have an online business? Yes. So we've always had an online part of our business. So everything that we do is custom. It's made to measure, and the online side of the business, we have clients from Dubai, we have clients from the States, we have clients everywhere. So we do have a virtual measurement process in place. So if a client from UK, wants to make a custom garment, they book a virtual appointment, and we do a video call, direct the measurement, and we make the garment for them. So yes, we have that.
Okay, so this pandemic is still ongoing. The coronavirus pandemic and the racism pandemic, which is ravaging our community, and it's so unfortunate that this day and age we're still talking about this issue. Now, with this that is happening, what is your stand? What do you want to say to our audience in regards to, the coronavirus is something that we have to social distancing, keep yourself, wear mask, all of that. But the racism pandemic, what do you got to say, to our audience? Before we go to the next question.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate that we are still having this conversation at this time. With what happened to George Floyd, may his soul rest in peace. That is the fear, that has been the fear of every Black parent. I am a father, and when this happened, one of the things that kept bugging me was, how do I have this conversation with my 2-year-old son? Do I tell him, ahead of time? Do I wait until he experiences that? Do I break his innocence and tell him his color is, he will go through issues like this? So that really bothered me. But it's unfortunate. But one thing though, the positive thing that I draw out of this is this generation, the crop of this generation, you could tell that everybody is tired of it. Everybody is sick and tired, and you could tell by the faces that came out to support, and those who genuinely came out to support the protest. Larry, we're very fortunate to be here, and it's because of the work of folks like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I feel like this battle that we're fighting right now it is a necessary battle, and I hope that our children don't have to go through the experience, that we are going through right now. I am hoping that us advocating and speaking up, that, there is no place in the world of civil human beings. There's no place for racism. Racism is not something that we want to have our children go through. So I'm hoping that this is the last time we'll be fighting this battle. But the most important, as Black community, we must also reflect. I am not someone that will teach people how to react, to something that hurts them. However, it is important for us, after the reaction, we must be able to speak to ourselves as to what's the way forward. And I think the way forward is for every single person, to not expect the world to change. You have to be the change, just like Andy said. So, how do we do that? Let's register to vote. So let's, know who the people who are representing our areas. Yeah. So that's my take on this.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Now, I want to ask, how long have you been in Canada, specifically in Calgary? How long?
Okay, so I've been in Canada now over 18 years. I came here 2002 as an international student from Nigeria. I moved here to Calgary though in 2011 after the downturn of the auto industry. I moved here 2011, and the rest has been a beautiful story.
That's so. I've been moved there for like almost 2 decades. What do you want to say? How well is Calgary or Canada responding to Fariara brand?
Beautiful. It's honestly, Richard and myself, we didn't expect this much support that we are receiving, both in the East, and the West. And it speaks to it's a testament of, the hard work that we put in building the brand, and also a testament to how the community will rally around you. One of the thing I always say to entrepreneurs is, do not be the one to point a finger to the community and say you're not being supported. The community does not owe you any support. If you're an entrepreneur, your community, does not owe you any support. If anything, you owe it to the community to provide quality service, to provide quality products. And once you do that, you will start to see the support. You go after the community's business. Don't wait for them to come to you. And that's what we have been able to do with Fariara, both in the West and also the East. So it's been, the support has been marvelous. So again, for everyone who has joined us on live, I want to say thank you again, for your support so far.
Okay, this is to the Global Talkative Series, where we come to hang out, inspire one another, and share ideas that will encourage us. Nelson Lutumi, thank you for joining us on Instagram. Celebrate underscore home. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you for joining this conversation. Peter, thank you for joining. We appreciate you so much. So,
the rest is actually
please, you can post it on Facebook or YouTube if they are appearing on the screen, or on Instagram, and Akim will do his best to answer your questions. Now, right to the next question. You make men's clothing, and that your one of the unique selling point is selling convenience.
Yeah.
Now, what makes your brand different from other brands out there in our community in Canada?
I always love to answer this question. Whenever our clients ask me this question, this is where they get, they look at me and be like, "Wow, you're really passionate about what you do." So, what makes us different? For those in Canada, I'll mention two brands. There is the Indochino, which is the pretty much the mass production of for custom wear, and there's Ari Rosen, which is the I, and we like to say we're in between both companies. When you're looking for, when you're looking for luxury fabric, we cater to clients who are looking for that. And when you are looking for some, price points that you can be able to afford, like what you'll find in Indochino, we cater to that. But what makes us different, honestly, when we started this company, Richard and myself, we used to think our tailoring perfection was what, made us different from other companies because of the attention to detail that we are both OCD when it comes to attention to detail. Richard is more OCD than I am. We thought that was our, competitive advantage. But our clients, over time, let us know what our competitive advantage is, which is the personal touch. We believe you must get a custom garment. It's important for the service to also be custom. And that's why our business model works perfectly. We are a mobile company. We go to our clients either in the convenience of their home, office, or wherever they find themselves, whatever they want us to meet. They're having a boys' night with scotch. We'll meet them, sit down with them, get to know them, get to know the audience that they will be wearing the garment, to face, and we'll make recommendation based on that. So the personal touch, the example I always give, back in the old school days, tailors are very important to people. Your tailors were some of your best friends, So the old school, we try to bridge the old school way of tailoring and the contemporary fit. So that's what makes us different, that you won't find with any other company.
Okay, I can see your partner saying preach. Saying, yes, go ahead, do it. Thank you so much. Now, talking in terms of expansion, sustainability, the model of business is good. Having one-on-one with your clients, having a personal touch, which of course everybody loves that kind of service. But talking in terms of expansion and sustaining, do you think, looking at growth in perspective, is there anywhere in the future that you want to have your garments or your clothing in the malls? Like, take for example, Hudson Bay or South Fifth Avenue or those big malls. Do you see a future? Do you have plans to have your clothing, because now you're doing custom-made clothing? Do you have plans that at some point you have them on the shelf and people can just walk in and buy?
That's a great question. So our business model is very elastic. It's expandable. So yes, we do have plans to be in stores. As a matter of fact, we are working on the Fiery Arrow exclusive ready to wear line. We're still in the process of the R&D process right now. So that's on one end, and on the other spectrum, you will be able to go to stores down the road. You'll be able to go to places like the Bay and have a Fiery Arrow consultant there to actually cater to you if you want a custom garment. And if you are in other part of the world, or in other cities that is not Calgary or Toronto, we will have Fiery Arrow consultant in some, in other parts of Canada and hopefully the States as well. So yes, that's why I said our business model is very elastic and expandable.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for clarifying that. Now, to be a fashion designer, do you necessarily have to do you have to know how to sew or cut a cloth? Because those questions keep coming out. Okay, I don't know how to sew, I can't cut, and I love fashion and I have passion for it, but because I don't know how to cut and sew. Now, tell our audience, is that compulsory that you have to know how to measure or cut before you can become, a fashion designer? For the sake of those who have the passion or mind of future plans.
Okay. So It's no. It's a no. And I know my business partner is probably just laughing because we just literally had, similar conversation with some of the business analysts that we're currently working with, having to explain, there are different layers to being a brand like Farrier. There is the design of the garment side. You don't have to know how to sew to be able to, design a garment. Having the eyes and having confidence in in what fits you, that is all that you need. And the seriousness that this is what you love to do. So that's the designer side of things. There's the manufacturer side of things, and the manufacturers are factory owners. They don't know. Most of them don't know how to sew. Then you have the tailors. The tailors are the ones that actually sew based on the design and based on specification. So you don't necessarily, myself and my business partner, I cannot use a sewing machine, but there's I think that's one of the limitations that people put when they think about being a designer. So to answer your question, no, you don't need to know how to sew.
Thank you for that, Bukola arrested fact.
Hi, Bukola. Bukola is joining us from the States. Bukola is one of those trailblazers in the States. She's also in the fashion industry, A&L, name it. She does it, and I've known Bukola since high school. She was my junior in high school, and we found ourselves, in similar industry. So thank you for joining us, Bukola.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. This is still the Global Talkative Series, and I've been talking with my guest today, Akim Lawa, founder and co-owner of Farrier Menswear, Canada to the world. And today's topic is I saw and conquer an entrepreneurship journey to the unknown. Now, the next question is this: who are your target audiences?
Lovely question. So, we are a lifestyle company. We tell our clients we are a lifestyle company. So what I mean by that is we have the work look, we've got the play look, and we've got the celebrate look. Those are places, those are the different type of lifestyle that you feel a need to wear a suit, a blazer, or a tuxedo. Now, the work look consists of, clients like lawyers, those in the corporate industry where they have to look the part, and, I always tell, my corporate clients that, dressing up is a way of respecting your audience. So that's on the work side. So folks in the corporate industry, and one of the questions we ask our clients, who are your, audience, before we actually make recommendation as to what type of fabric to go for. So those in the corporate industry, and people who don't necessarily wear suits on a day-to-day, but for cocktail they want to wear a blazer and everything. We cater to those as well, and we are very big in the wedding industry as well. So you can, we have like a large scope of clients, but in terms of, breaking it down into age group, we like to say from 24 to, the sweet spots from 24 to 55. Those are our major clients, and, the ones that make from 45K, and above, those are our typical client.
That's cool. Now, your partner said something that, when we're talking about knowing how to sew or not. Now, and I want to expatiate further for our viewers to understand. He said, from Instagram, said, having an understanding of garment construction is essential. Though, now, can you explain what do you mean by garment construction? Understanding garment construction when you don't even know how to sew. What do you mean by that? Garment construction.
So, and those are some of the research that you need to do when getting into fashion industry. If you want to get into suits, you have to know the different components, that is included in making a suit. Understanding the different type of canvas, understanding the drape of the suit. It's not just wearing suits. There are certain rules in place, that can tell you what the difference between the quality suits from, a not so quality suits, understanding the fabric composition. So those are some of the research that, anyone getting into the suit industry should do. And in terms of clients as well, over time, when you wear suits, you will find a sweet spot for yourself and say, okay, I love my suits to fit this way. Now, the way you prefer your suit, we will let you know the type of construction, to if you want a suit that you want the lapel to last for a longer time, we'd say you go for the full canvas, or half canvas. So there's so many aspects of garment construction that anyone getting into this industry need to really research on. Those are some of the things that will make you successful in the industry.
Cool. Thank you very much. It's still been our topic today. We've been talking with Akim Lawal, founder and co-owner of Harry Men's Wear Canada. Now, the question I have from an audience is about diversification. Now, why I'm asking this question is I have some designers who are in the UK. Lulu, is one of them. He makes shoes, my friend, my brother, and one thing he's been able to do, having a proper understanding of the culture, the community of the Africans. That, like you said something about you do more of wedding suits and all of that, but in terms of our culture, Africans, Caribbean, we have this elaborate clothing. Like what I'm wearing now is from the eastern side of Nigeria. Now, Lulu has a brand called Kingero. It makes now. Parihara, do you have plans to diversify, going beyond the suit to having like traditional, festive clothes for Caribbeans, Africans?
Honestly, we've always, as a brand, the name of our brand, speaks to our heritage. So right when we started the company, myself and my business partner discussed the importance of having, heritage collection. So with our heritage collection, it's a blend of African inspired fabric. As a matter of fact, in our fashion show that we did 2019, we did put some of our pieces on the runway. With our design, we're very subtle when it comes to the African, inspired fabric on when we merge the African inspired fabric with suits. We're very subtle, and that's the approach that we've decided to take. And during our fashion show, one of the things that we also showcase is having an African print on satin. It's a lot of our clients are responding very well to those. Caribbean, blacks, whites, Africans, name them. So we do have heritage collection. Now, do we make the kaftan? We are not making those right now, but we have plans to get into that. As a matter of fact, my business partner is just like, yeah. So we have plans to get into that. So yeah.
That's amazing. Still talking to Akim Lawal on the Global Talkative Series. Now, what word of advice do you have for aspiring to be fashion designers? What word of advice do you have for them? Because somebody who is making some clothing, at home, but with the future of, okay, how do I go from here? The next step to take. What word of advice do you have?
I think the most important thing, as I always tell many entrepreneurs, you 70%, you've achieved 70% by starting in the first place. The rest of the 30% is just you being diligent.
Yeah.
You are connecting with the right people and knowing that this is not it's not an industry that you can get into just to make a quick buck. You have to be able to build a brand.
Mm.
And part of building a brand is also, improving yourself as well. As I mentioned, success is an extension uh, of you and of your personality. Your personality has to cater to listening to your audience, to your clients, and listening to people. So those are some of the advice that I have for aspiring designers. Just be diligent at what you're doing, connect with the right people, just be willing to listen.
That's good. We have about 10 minutes more before we round up today's talk. So, for the just build up on that, on the same question, do you have a form of mentoring that you provide for community youth, to inspire them to do something of their own? Because we go to school, but school we don't have the opportunity to have this kind of, okay, you want to be a fashion designer, I can mentor you because the teacher is going to teach you general things about science, English, mathematics, and the rest of that. Now, do you have some form of mentoring or mentorship plan for youth in the community?
Yeah, yes, we do, and we are already doing that. As a matter of fact, myself and Rich, we have different WhatsApp group in both of our cities. With different entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, especially the one in Calgary. A couple of my friends here, Charles Osuji, who has been on this program, Nelson, and some other entrepreneurs on that WhatsApp group. Either you're starting, you're just starting. This actually was put together by Femi Odutola, is another entrepreneur here in Calgary. So the mentorship side, we're already, giving back to the community on the side of that informally. But we are hoping to add that to one of our social responsibility and a corporate responsibility, having a formal mentorship program, a Fari-Ara mentorship program for aspiring entrepreneurs. Yes.
That's amazing. It's been an awesome time talking to Akim Lawal today. And before we end up, we have the issue of racism that is ongoing now, all over the world, and it's so traumatizing. Very, I don't know the word to use. Seeing the way police are dealing with brothers and sisters, across the world, especially men of African descent. If there's anything that you would like to say to some of policemen, someone somewhere watching now, or they're going to be watching this later, what kind of word of advice do you want to tell our police how to police responsibly?
This is a tough one, Larry. Tough and emotional one. Um, uh, for any, I think for a policeman and anyone in the force, I don't know if there's any police officer watching us. I think the first thing I would like to say is, imagine your son, having a friend in school, in grade 5, one of his best friend is black and you're white. Your son's best friend is black. Imagine your son, each and every day coming home and being afraid that he may not see that his black friend tomorrow.
Mm,
Um, Imagine having to deal with that as a
mm,
father. So that's how we feel, as black, people, seeing. our friends and family and not knowing, as they're driving them, if they're going to make it home safe. Nobody, no matter the color of your race, should have to, be going through that mentally, especially, in this generation at this time. So I think police officers, your job is to protect people. Your job is not to add layers of pain uh, to the ones that people are already going through. So I will plead with with policemen. It's important that you see the same way you treat white folks, treat black people the same way. Racism should not be an excuse, for you to take lives of innocent, you know, black men, women. So just apply some elements of humanity to what you do.
That is a good word. Applying an element of humanist, humanity. I think if the officer that took George Floyd to death has an iota of humanity in him, I think you will see a sense of reason when he was calling out, mommy, because we're all born of women. So I guess that is the key, having that sense of humanity, in what we do. Thank you so much, Akeem, for joining us today on the Global Talkative Series. It's been an amazing, time chatting with you and having this discussion with you. And for all of viewers from around the world, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for having time, spending time with us. Peter Lauren Dimo, Lola Balogun, Jim Maria, EB, Dr. Laiwala Jile, Irene Joe, Andrea, all of those who joined us, Nelson, Tommy, your partner, RB, Junior. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Akeem, thank you for joining us today on this show. We appreciate you. And to the audience, I'm still Andre Ajayi, and I hope you are keeping safe, you're observing social distancing, and you are living your life to impact others. Until I come again your way next time. Thank you very much, and bye for now.
Thank you.